God wastes nothing. He makes you ready. So whatever situation you're in, whether you hate it, love it, or in between, there's something you're being prepared for. As you are trying to make good of a mediocre situation or make a good situation even better, God is making something great from the good that you are.
Number one qualifier, I think you told me this, but like the number one prerequisite before you even start this exercise is you got to swallow your pride.
Yep.
If you truly are interested in improving, the first thing Cartwright's going to do is tear down your walls. He's not going to tear down your boss's walls. He's not going to tear down the lady at work who drives you crazy's walls. He's coming for your walls.
Hey, thanks for listening. A lot of podcasts out there. We appreciate you picking us. So really help us out if you give us a like or subscribe or follow wherever you're listening or watch.
What's up, man?
Hey, Bo.
What you doing?
Just living life, baby.
You got a lot going on. You came in today kind of
flustered. Yeah, man. Chaos, man.
But busy's good, though, right? Busy's good. Is that a podcast episode?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Dude, there's something about, I will say, chaos that, or just, pressures of life that bring out good and bad, right? They just bring out, It's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
It's like, how did Jesus take a nap in the storm?
Right.
You're like, oh, because he lived in constant state of peace.
Yeah.
He was not overcome one way or the other. The external pressures didn't turn him into something he's not. Or I think sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, I do love consistency. I love stability because we generally don't like the person that comes out when that's not there, or we don't feel that. And so, this morning I had a flat tire to deal with. Bethany had a commitment that she needed to do, and so I had to figure out stuff for the boys, where to go with my parents, and
still had to work.
So I had to get work done and meetings set up and prior commitments, and you're like trying to put it all together, and it's worked out. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that bad, but you're still just like, man, there's a reason why I like things to go a certain way, because there's some safety in that.
Yeah.
It's not peace. It's a false sense of peace is what it is.
Yeah.
And really the peace that surpasses understanding is that peace that doesn't matter what happened outside. Like, I'm still the same person.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to treat my kids poorly because of this. It's something they can't even control. I'm not going to be this, or that to others. I'm just going to show up and be me. So it does bring out good and bad in you. It's a good thing to have. I think people need to embrace chaos more in their life.
Yeah. I always think about too, this is kind of a little bit off. Well, maybe it's not a topic, but like I think with having a kid now, I always think, gosh, I want my kid to see me in situations that are chaotic to be level and consistent, not be the dad that's like flying off the handle or, you know what I mean? Because I have a tendency to do it. Like I'll get 100%. Flustered and, like take it out on the dog or something like that. Yeah. We're going to get PETA people in the comments now. But I've always thought, like, I remember my dad during stuff traveling and, getting everybody going, trying to get somewhere. And he was always very even keeled. And I always think, I want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that's like, acting flustered and stuff.
Right here. And then all of a sudden something just.
Yeah. Something small. Like the dog running in the house with mud on his left feet and all
that. This was one this morning that I had to take a deep breath, because maybe some young men with young kids can relate to this, where I'm getting my youngest, who's 4 months, in the car seat. He spits up on himself, but not terribly, so I'll clean that off, but I've kept him the same clothes. And my oldest knows we're leaving, going to the grandparents' house, so he's like, get in the car, and he's got the door. I'd lock the door so he can't get out and go running in the street, basically. And so he's getting frustrated and anger, so sometimes he likes it to drink he doesn't necessarily drink his own water bottle, but he wants to drink out of dad or mom's water bottle. Yeah. So I hand him my water bottle to drink out of, and there's like a little bit left. There's not much. So I'm like, he can't make too much of a mess of this. Well, I've finally got his brother in the car seat. And big brother is just wanting to come over and say, hey, to little brother. And he's got my water bottle under his arm and just dunks it all over his brother in the car seat. And I'm like, I can't leave him in a wet onesie.
Yeah.
And so I had to get him out.
I know that thought though. When you're teetering, you're like, he's got a dirty diaper, but can he make it?
And you're just like, okay. He was not being defiant. He wasn't throwing a tantrum. He literally was just trying to say hey to his brother. And I gave him a water bottle, and this is what made the mess. So I can't sit here and get mad at that.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where you just got to take a deep breath. I'm like, okay. Yeah. But you feel it rising up, like right there.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm already running late.
Yeah.
I don't know if this tire is actually really fixed.
Imagine, I mean, with one kid getting out the door is tough. When we're going to daycare. With 2 kids?
Yeah.
2 and 3 and 4 kids, like some people that we know have. I mean, how?
Oh yeah.
As just one parent, how do you?
It's insane how people do it.
How do you do it?
No, seriously.
Yeah, that's funny. We'll be like with my family, and Carly and I will be like, yeah, this was tough. Last night I didn't sleep good. Both my older sisters have twins. And then other kids. So between those 2 sisters, they have 7 kids.
Yeah.
And they're all looking at me across the table like, dude, shut up. Like, you've got one. It's okay.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. No, that's funny. Well, I wanted to, or we kind of discussed this before we get started, but last week we did the fun episode about the 2014 playoff. Mm-hmm. And go back and listen to that if you haven't. It's pretty funny. You'll hear Cartwright get pretty riled up. That's always fun. And then, but anyway, a good kind of segue into that was, guys in their 20s and 30s are always looking, or not always, but there's a tendency for guys our age to be like, hey, I feel like I may have a good thing now, whether it's work or, I guess it could be your marriage or it could be anything, but you're always thinking like, even when you have something great going on now and God's blessed you so much, you're always looking to what could be better.
Yeah.
Or what could be more fun or where you could make more money, or certainly guilty of that.
Yeah.
And so anyway, yeah, it's an interesting thought. You kind of brought that up before we started, and that's kind of something I wanted to hammer in on a little bit because I can relate to it so much. I still do.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think there's something to, just different conversations I'm having is, and I think guys that I work better with, I think some people have put a label on me before of being like a career coach. And I just don't think I fit my skill set as well with helping them think through all the transition of resume and job hunting. And, I think guys I work with better who are like, all right, I'm in a situation, there's something good here, but I'm still pretty frustrated. How do I improve that? Mm-hmm. How do I continue to find a way where I can add value? Mm-hmm. And I think that's really what I was kind of getting at. And I'm sitting there thinking like, man, I wish the guys, whoever's in charge of this college football playoff and all the nonsense going on, it just stops for a second and go, all right, we have something good. Clearly, how do we improve on it? And not just take let's just throw more teams in there, and make more money.
Yep.
But you're like, it's like, okay, is that really what's best?
Well, it's kind of like the sacrifice episode that we think.
Yeah.
It feels like for anything, if you want to increase the number of teams or if you want to increase your salary, it feels like there will be sacrifice. So it depends on what you're willing to sacrifice, right? So like if it's, you want to double your salary, well, do you want to double your hours? You know what I mean? Or do you, back to the playoff, like if you want to increase the teams, well, then you're going to have the Sun Belt champ, you're going to have the MAC champ, you're going to have all those champs in there.
Yeah.
And then those games won't be very good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you have a diluted product.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd be sacrificing the quality, and so with your job, it could be you're sacrificing your quality of life.
Yeah.
For something else entirely.
But I was thinking about in the context also with like fast food. A great interview, if anybody, what is that podcast that's really good? They interview CEOs, but it was, and I've forgotten the CEO's name, but it's the CEO of Raising Cane's. Have you had Raising Cane's yet? How I Built This. There it is. Great. It's Guy Raz. It's a funny name, but he interviewed the who now Raising Cane's has become the second largest chicken fast food restaurant in the country.
Yeah.
Surpassed KFC, and I think the other one was
Louisiana.
Yeah, and really just wanted to create a restaurant for college students, like late night food, which is wild to think about.
Yep.
But and then all of a sudden he came, oh, I just want to make the best chicken fingers. And you go on their menu, and they really have like 3 things.
Yeah.
It's like 3 versions of of chicken fingers.
Yeah.
And that's it. And he's like, I do not want to add another like item to the menu of like people have had, a spicy flavor or some type of salad. I don't know. It's just, you think about all the different fast foods and all the extended stuff, or they have like, McDonald's is the McRib, or Chick-fil-A's got their different type of buns that they do for sandwiches and and I'm sure those guys have figured it out, but he's saying is that it would dilute the product because it would force me to then train the managers to then train the employees, and then the system wouldn't be as fast, and it would dilute the product, and people wouldn't get their food. The chicken fingers wouldn't be as fresh, right? All that goes down the line. And I think sometimes that's the way we think about and we forget the adage that less is more. And there's but also, so I want, how do we frame this for you guys in your 20s in your job? I think is really interesting. If I've got one of the 3, how do I improve on that? How do I add value where I'm at? Learning to be 2 feet where you are. And that's tough to do in your 20s because what I think all of us feel in our 20s is the world's our oyster. There's so many things I can do. There's so many options out there. How can I find that thing? And I think probably a good starting place to ask the question that I wish I asked, that I got to eventually in my late 20s understanding, is I'm the common denominator. If I feel unhappy, if I feel unsettled, I feel lack of stability, okay, maybe it's me.
Mm-hmm.
And getting to that place, all right, that it's not my circumstances that define my emotional state. How do I figure that out before I start making all these moves? Because some people, what ends up happening, they just go to job, and they don't even look in the mirror and go, oh, maybe it's me.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you need to say, all right, okay, if I'm starting to really find out what are the things I need to really grow to be me, and how do I then turn that into, okay, all right, now I need to start adding value where I'm at.
Yeah.
And if I can't do that, then looking at it.
Yeah.
Then maybe evaluating to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think it's rare to think of somebody that's like really successful and have their story be, I was always looking for the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably more common for successful men that we want to be like, for their story to be, I was really good where I was.
Yeah.
And then naturally I had opportunities come to me, or naturally we experienced this growth. And so now that's why I'm successful. And define success however you want. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like, if you're the person like me, by the way, I'm totally guilty of this. That's like, ooh, I wonder if it's way better over there.
Yeah.
Or I wonder if I looked over here under this rock, if I would be happier all of a sudden. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem, and I did a lot of that in my 20s, a whole lot of that in my 20s. And I found that now, though, my job is great. Like, I love the people I work with, and I don't mind going into work every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think now that I'm in my mid-30s, I'm like seeing the extreme value in that in my life, like, would I love to make way more money and, do more? And like, I mean, I think everybody would, but like, man, being able to go into work, love the people I work with, love collaborating with them, figuring out how to solve problems, do all these things, is in a way, it could be more valuable than making more money. I do feel like a hypocrite when I say that, because it's like, if I got offered way more money, I don't know. But like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of a thought that I've had.
That's the third one.
Education. Yeah, that's right. Education is stretching yourself, learning more.
Am I growing? Am I, becoming more? Yeah. I think especially we'll say single guys out there, and I'll think of myself in my 20s. You weren't single for most of your 20s. But I think as single guys, you really can take less because you need less if there is the education piece. Am I growing?
Yeah.
Am I learning? Am I developing? And because it will compound into more compensating opportunities when you have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I mean, and to maybe help you process though and not feel like a hypocrite, but it's like when you got wife and kids on the line, like there is a number one to think about.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, my wife and I joke a lot. It's like in my 20s, it was again. Let's help me flesh this out, because I don't know that this is like great advice to give people, but it's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Like my 20s was like, man, I got to find my passion. I got to find all great things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now I'm 34, married with a kid and a mortgage and a construction loan, because we added onto our house. I'm like, I'll be a garbage man. I don't care.
Right.
I will do.
If it means I'm making
I
things,
don't. It doesn't matter to me, which in a way feels kind of freeing.
Yeah.
From myself a little bit, because it's like, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself. I think a lot of guys in their 20s do now, of like, oh man, I got to find the exact right seat that I'm supposed to be in.
Yeah.
As if, Bo, God couldn't use you in any seat that you were in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just totally different now. I guess I'm thankful for the 20s of like having the freedom to kind of view what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't matter as much.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, you reach a certain point where you're like, hey man, gotta provide. The job I'm in right now is doing that, and I love going into work, and I love the people I work with.
Yeah.
It would take a lot for me to leave. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
yeah,
I don't know.
No, I am 100% with you, because also in your 20s, I want to do what I'm passionate about, but you're searching for what you're passionate. I want to do what and it changes, because it 100% changes. It's like sometimes God gives you the thing you want, and then you get it and you're like, that's not great.
Right.
I actually don't like that much.
Right.
And I think that's what we kind of think about in the context of passion, and it gets shaped. And then when you realize you got other people, it's like, oh, no, they just want consistency in a place where I can depend on people, and it provides for my family. Like me, I mean, my wife, there's a season where she just like, she really wanted just to be home, and like providing her that is just like, means the world, and trying to figure that out. It's like, man, how do I do? Because when she's thriving, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful, and it's one of the things that attracted me about her. I was like, man, I want, if we had kids, like I want them to be raised by her, And so you're thinking through that context, and just your passions change. What you become passionate about changes. And so, and therefore, and then your priorities change too.
Yep.
And so, and then you kind of start seeing those line up, and then you kind of realize like, oh man, some of the things I really enjoy doing, and just like, oh, maybe that's just for a different season too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It just puts, it goes back to what we talked about last time about the, reality and expectation. And when that reality starts really hitting, you start really seriously evaluating what really matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially when you get married and have kids, it just does. And things change, and you're like, all right, I don't care what I'm passionate about or that I love this. How do I provide a safe place for them and that? So,
yeah, I kind of think, and it's also a little different now too, because for me, I think that now that I'm in, I think when I said earlier that it's kind of freeing for me, is because it's almost allowing me to be still for just a second, or not just a second, but for a long time, and really focus on being great in the seat that I'm in now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of like, it gives myself the freedom to be like, all right, stop wondering about all these other external things, or like what these other seats could be or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, because you're happy here, go as deep as you can and be as great as you can in this one spot, and then see what God has for you after that. That's kind of how it kind of feels.
Right.
To me. And I do, one trap I fall into a lot is the thought of like, man, if I made this, then we would be so much happier, or like, and I just don't think that is I just don't think that really is true. Now, honestly, I mean, money's not bad. I mean,
It solves a lot of problems.
solves a lot of problems. Yeah, absolutely. But like, to me, and again, we may listen to this in a year and I may feel like a hypocrite because I left for more money, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it just it's no longer the thing that I'm like desperately chasing after.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's through a lot of sessions with you and a lot of just experience
Mm-hmm.
and my limited experience I've had. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like, it's definitely attractive, but it's not the thing that I'm like desperately going after anymore. Just because I've been in some weird working environments and some uncomfortable ones, and now I'm in one that's really comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, gosh, I really like that.
Yeah.
Almost more in a way.
Mm-hmm. Which in your 20s, you don't necessarily really value that because you don't know whether you
don't know what you don't know.
You think very siloed, like, all right, it's all about what I do and how much I make. When really it's like, no, sometimes it is just the place you need to be, and thinking through. Then others need different environments, and whether that's remote or, and it's just like, I think more and more it's like, man, I think if we could get our heads wrapped around, that's why I put in there kind of a culture, collaborative alignment thing in there of those three. It's like, how do I really think about my current situation where it's probably adding, in your 20s, it's probably adding more value where you're at and the people you're surrounding yourself with more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Am I learning to take feedback well? Am I working for somebody I admire? Do I have people I enjoy working with?
Yeah.
I just think that's just like, it just goes so far in your 20s because you just really, there's so much you need to grow in as a professional, as a man, as a, and I think we talked about this last time, was like, the reason why you got out of football coaching was like, man, you didn't love the lifestyle, the marriages that a lot of guys you were surrounded by. Is like, man, if I, these things I prioritize more than being a great football coach and becoming a head coach of a major football program, right? As cool as that sounds, as great as that passion may be, man, I would rather, and I think it comes all down to, and I just don't, even people that say they're Christians come down to is like, all right, what's God going to hold me accountable to at the end of my life?
I mean, what does their story look like? I mean, you think about, I don't know Alex Golish's story or Kalen DeBoer or any of these guys, but you just wonder, they could be the best guys in the world. I don't know. But looking at the coaching type stuff, as an example, you just wonder what their story is along the way.
Yeah.
Personally, with your family.
Yeah.
With your kids that are in elementary school, middle school, and picking up and going every 2 to 3 years. And then professionally.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's the nature of it is you have to beat the guy that you're playing, but you also have to beat the guys that you're working with to get the attention of the guy. Yeah. Also, to that point, is when you're in the coaching world, I'm just in a coaching podcast, so sorry, I always talk about this, by the way, but it's just always on my mind.
Yeah.
But like you'll get halfway through the season and you're already thinking, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
So I mean, you're in October, you're in the meat of the season.
Yeah, you're not being 2 feet where you're at. Yeah.
Are we getting fired?
Yeah.
Are we doing so great that we're going to get a bigger job?
Yeah.
I mean, there's really that was one thing that shocked me is like, man, we work all year long to get to the season. We're in the middle of October, and then everybody in the building is thinking about what's next. You know what I mean? And I think that that certainly bled over to me, and it still does. I feel it sometimes. It's like you're looking ahead, and I don't think in the business world, I think sometimes it may work that way. With selling businesses or like businesses going bankrupt or whatever, but like certainly not to the same extent. So like it's not. I found myself looking after like 10 months. Of having different business jobs after I got out of coaching.
Yeah.
And it's like I've worked out this muscle of being like, what's next?
Yeah.
Just because that's what, and to bring it back to the purpose of this podcast, I think it really, it took me a long time to realize how unhealthy that can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it rarely comes with like peace of like, and then what you find too is when you start looking around other places, you'll find that that the job you have now you don't appreciate almost at all.
Yeah.
And then when you don't appreciate it at all, it turns into resentment. And you start resenting the people you work for. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like this vicious cycle. And so that was my story in my 20s. It's
I think that's great, Bo, because and some people may, well, that's not necessarily bad, but I like, what are we trying to do with this podcast? I'm trying to make y'all wise, healthy, authentic, real men, really be established and implemented in who you are, especially your relationship in Christ, like who we are in Him. Like, so learning to be present 2 feet where you are and develop. Yeah, it's hard. How do you develop that muscle?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's a Western world thing that I think harms us, because it leaks into every aspect of our life. Oh, my son, he's not walking yet. When he starts walking, then I'll really start enjoying more of him. You're like,
stuff running around the house.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, like, yeah. It's like when they're young, is what somebody say. It's like we're all about like wanting them to talk and walk, and then we're all of a sudden like sit down, shut up.
Remember the days where you were just sitting once.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's the same thing. Yeah, we do it, and we just start going. We live in that grass is greener. Because especially today, when we're in the information and technology age, we see all the other options,
and it's instant gratification everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Especially with AI, even in your work life. Like right now, I use AI all day long.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And like if I need something done, like I do our portal at work, and so I'm in all this software stuff and. Stuff a year ago that took me 2 months now takes me 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like, you just have this constant rewiring of your brain. It's like quicker, better, quicker, better, quicker. And then, that has to bleed into how you view things when it's what you do all day. I think you nailed it. I think for, again, I don't want to make this whole thing about me, but for me, it was like, okay, when I sat with Cartwright, now I'm starting to kind of get a better understanding of myself. Not so much like, hey, Cartwright, help me out to work all this stuff out.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, help me think about this new job, or help me think about why I don't like this person at work. But you would always say, well, let's flesh out what's going on with you first.
Yeah.
And then when that started happening, it's like, oh gosh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This guy that I work for has been the same guy for 3 years.
Yeah.
He's not all of a sudden evil and conniving and all, you know what I mean? And so, it's me, man. It's how my brain is wired, and how do I undo that wheel, or how do I get that organized, or better understand myself, and then when you do that, you kind of see the situation, you see it a lot differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're able to kind of zoom out and see yourself in the middle of it and understand your own tendencies in a way.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's just a good practice, and maybe that's the call to action for the listeners is like, all right, how do I learn to fix myself in that moment before fixing others of the situation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe look in your mirror first before you start really getting the place of even judgment, right? And I think that's the because I think maybe some guys hear this and we think, because I think something me and you really worked on, it's like the ambitious desire is not wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
Being ambitious is not wrong. It's what you do with that.
Yeah.
Who am I pushing out of the way? Yeah. Who am I demeaning? Who am I, or how am I, what thoughts am I neglecting, or how am I acting from that ambition? Am I doing it from a place of authenticity and kindness to those around me as well as myself? Or am I doing this from a place of like, get out of the way? This is my turn. Like we live in that selfish, prideful state, right? That's the point of this, I think this episode and what you're talking about is what we really evaluate. It's like, what am I acting out of? And, how is it manifesting and affecting me and others?
Yeah. And I think and when you start to get a better understanding, and by the way, you can't do this by yourself.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. but you gotta have Cartwright to do this, or somebody like Cartwright. But you really start to understand, gosh, or maybe you start to understand it when you get a little bit older, like I am now. It's like, man, I was truly a dog chasing a car.
Yeah.
Man, if God had said, you know what, man,
here's the car.
Yeah, there you go. You can have that spot.
Enjoy being dragged down.
I would have been my first day in whatever spot. I mean, I don't know, but like I would have been like, no.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not ready for this. I've got friends that like in our mid-20s, I can think of one guy in particular that he actually he had a family member buy a business and then just put him in charge of it. And it was like manufacturing. And so it was like typical, like, you know, I mean, these people have been working there for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Here comes this 25-year-old guy.
Oh, wow.
And I remember hearing his stories of like, yeah, you know, I'd studied for this in college. I kind of knew, but dude, this is not anything. Like, I was not ready for this.
No.
I was not ready for this because the people that you have to manage and the guy that's been there for 30 years managing the books, and then you get in and want to make a change and you're 25, no chance. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, you know, so I just say that because, I mean, that was me. I mean, thankfully, I never really had an opportunity like that, like I had really thought I needed. Because I don't know, it would have been bad. Have you seen Parks and Rec where Ben Wyatt? Oh, yeah. You know, he was the mayor of Icetown or whatever.
At 18 or something.
At 18. and the whole town like went bankrupt and crashed and burned. You remember, you know what I'm talking about?
100%.
That would have been me.
Yeah. Was this the ice skating rink?
Yeah. It bankrupted the whole city and stuff like that. That's what I think of. It's like, man, that totally would have been
you
me.
were not ready. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know.
And so I think the moral here is to tell our audience is like, God wastes nothing. He makes you ready. So whatever situation you're in, whether you hate it, love it, or in between, is like, there's something you're being prepared for. Some level of leadership, disappointment. I mean, so I think that's where, so, you know, as you were trying to make good of a mediocre situation or make a good situation even better, God is making something great from the good that you are, right? I think that's where we got to kind of like, as you kind of shape your mindset in whatever situation you're in, I think that's where you got to like really think about it. It's like, all right, God is using this as well as I'm using this to improve myself. So anyway, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a fun, anyway, it's a fun thought process, and the more and more.
But it's not fun to go through. It's not fun. No. I mean, because the number one qualifier, I think you told me this, but like the number one prerequisite before you even start this exercise is you got to swallow your pride.
Oh, man.
You got to say, all right, if I'm going to learn more about myself and kind of, you know, really, if I really am truly interested, I'm sitting down with Cartwright, you know, and I know you've had these type guys before because you've told me about it. You have guys that truly are interested in improving. Yeah. And then you have other guys that just need you to hear them talk and tell you why they're experts on the situation. Yeah. If you're the first one, if you truly are interested in improving, the first thing Cartwright's going to do is tear down your walls. He's not going to tear down your boss's walls.
That's right. Yeah.
He's not going to tear down the lady at work who drives you crazy's walls. He's coming for your walls. Yeah. And so I think that can be a bit of a shock for guys, especially in their 20s, because they're like, no, I don't really need this. I need you to help me navigate this situation so that I win. Right. And that's not at all what your curriculum does or what you do. And I don't think it's, I don't know if this is good theology, but it just doesn't feel like that's what God is interested in either. No. It feels like God's like, how do we build your character through this? What am I teaching you? Mm-hmm. You know?
So ultimately what you are, at the end of the day, it's not how I'm get to win. It's like, I'm already winning.
Right.
And that's the mindset you have to take.
Which is hard to hear.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is really hard to hear. Because you've convinced yourself by this point, no, I'm 27, I'm an expert on this, and I'm ready to go.
But the thing is, and I think every 27-year-old, whether they think that way or not, is the people that give the richest wisdom, speak from a place of experience. And so when you're 27 dealing with this, you're experiencing something that's hard. So really look at it and go, oh, this is a great opportunity, because there'll be one day where you'll add value to somebody's life and they're not looking for information. They're not looking for the new knowledge. They could just AI it. They're looking for someone who's been through it.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And that, at the end of the day, is what you got to think about, And so, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cartwright here. Excited about what we're doing in Men Are Forged. If you want to participate in one of our episodes, please send in a question. We want in this podcast to answer the questions you're asking. In the description, click that link. Hey, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Today's episode is brought to you by Bravenly Hydrate. It's hot out there, and you got to stay hydrated, because regular water is just not going to cut it. And the main brand sports drinks got stuff you don't need to consume. So I recommend hitting the link in the bio and checking out Bravenly Hydrate. Lemon lime is my favorite flavor, but I recommend checking out more of Bravenly products. It's really great stuff for your health and well-being. So hit the link in the bio to find out more about Bravenly products.